Welcome to another episode of Live Wellness Wednesday with your host, Robin Engelson. I'm excited to share with you my story from corporate burnout to serial entrepreneur. It's fascinating and exciting, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you because this may be you. You may resonate with a piece of it, a part of it, but more importantly, I just want you to be able to take away something to make you better, because we want to be 1% better every single day, because growth is the essence of life. So throughout my career, we have gone through different definitions of success, right? So how does success define you? What is the definition of success? Your definition of success when you got out of college or out of high school may be very different than what you're defining success today, right? So for me, I went to 4-year college. I graduated with a marketing management degree, and my success, my definition of success was to go into corporate, go into an ad agency, get my experience there, and then move over to the client side and still be in corporate and move up the corporate ladder all the way to the top. That was my definition of success. But what I found is that once I was in those positions, worked for a small ad agency, went to different corporate positions, what happened was I was a disruptor. Anybody know what a disruptor is? Is it you? Are you the disruptor? When you're a disruptor and you keep getting shot down for your ideas. I wasn't good enough. Wouldn't work here. Not for our company. Anything that I brought to the table that I knew would be successful for the company, because as an employee, you're working for the company and their success, was shut down. It didn't go within the company motto, the company realm, whatever the company was doing in that moment. It didn't fit. It's kind of like I was that external puzzle piece that didn't have a place in the puzzle, right? Because I'm a disruptor. I didn't know this at the time, but what happened is that being at the ad agency, being in corporate, being in these positions and having bosses that didn't believe in me, didn't think my ideas were valid, kept shooting me down, micromanaged me, and really did not let me be who I was or why they hired me. Why would you hire someone if you're going to micromanage them? Why would you hire someone if you don't like their ideas? Like, I didn't understand this concept because my mind was already on entrepreneurship, but I didn't even know it, because my definition of success was to go through the corporate ladder from the bottom to the top. I didn't know that I could start at the top as an entrepreneur and continue to go even higher than that. Okay, so does this sound familiar? Is anyone resonating with having ideas, but being shut down for them? Nobody cares, nobody listens. It's kind of like after a while, it kind of just burns at you and stops it's like it's having a knife in your heart, right? Like, why would you keep doing this work if people are telling you you're wrong? And if people are not acknowledging you for your ideas and your thoughts and what could possibly help the company bring a higher ROI and bring in a new client and be the face of this and that. The list goes on and on. But what I know now is that I'm a disruptor. I'm not going to go with the flow. I'm going to find the solution and implement it and make it work. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to alter it and fix it and make it work again. I'm going to go up and I'm going to go down, but I'm going to be on this roller coaster ride of being a disruptor my entire career. But in the world I was in, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't allow me to have my thoughts heard, my ideas heard or implemented, anything to help the ROI, the success of the company, or be the face of the company. It wasn't in the cards for me. It didn't work. I tried multiple places, multiple companies. Being an employee didn't work for me, okay? So what I did was I started my own company, because I'm a disruptor and I know that I have a plan and an action and following, and by applying that action and having it be successful. Now, success isn't always successful. Success can be failure, and you learn from that failure and you move on to the next thing. Entrepreneurship's like a roller coaster. It's up and down, up and down. You're not on the up all the time, you're not on the down all the time, but you got to learn from the ups and you got to learn from the downs. If you're not learning, then what's the point? Growth is the essence of life, like I mentioned before, and if you're not learning, you're not growing. Okay, so does this sound familiar? Are you a disruptor? Do you want more than what is being fulfilled in your life? Right? I'm giving you my work history and an example, but this could also be for your health, right? Is what you're doing serving you in your health? Are you feeling good every day? Are you energized every day? Are you making a difference in yourself and prioritizing you and your health so you could be better? Because health is wealth, people. If you don't have health, you don't have nothing. You got nothing. And I know that from firsthand experience, which I'll get into in just a moment. Okay, so, I became an entrepreneur at the age of 27. Actually, it was earlier than that, but officially, because in high school, I was doing stuff that was entrepreneurship, and in college, I was selling spring break trips to pay for my trip. Like it's in my blood. Like I always did something on my own because I knew what the success and ROI would be. I didn't need someone else to tell me how to do it. I didn't need someone else to show me or go first. I knew how to do it. I know how to do it. So I did it. But I always learned and always had a mentor to teach me exactly how to do it and follow in their footsteps to do it my way, but follow the pattern and like how they, the ebbs and flows of their day. Like what did they do? How did they speak? The languaging is so important. Languaging. If you're not talking to someone in the right language, they are not going to hear you. You have to say something the same way 5 different times. 5 different times, say it a different way. It's the same language, but it's saying it 5 different ways because different people hear things different ways. And I knew that if I followed someone that was successful and duplicated what they were doing in my way, then I would be successful. And I became a serial entrepreneur that way, meaning that I started at age 27 incorporating my own business and had an advertising agency and marketing firm. I ran an in-house ad agency for multiple nonprofits and brought in the millions for them. I surpassed the budgets in 1 year. They had to up the budget so much that they didn't even know. For one of my clients, they didn't know what to do with me except for say thank you. I'm so happy you are doing what you're doing. And here's the key, you guys. That particular position was an in-house position, and with my languaging and my expertise, I showed them that being an entrepreneur and having my own company as a consultant to them is more beneficial to them. Because I knew the success, I knew the ROI and how much more money they would make and how much happier I would be being on my own, running my own business, working together with them instead of an employee. Very key. Know your skills, know how to do it, know how to run with it, and be confident in what you're saying. I am an expert in what I do. In that moment, I was an expert in advertising and the B2B relationships with customers and clients because I knew how to talk with them. I knew what to say to them. I knew how to build a relationship. And I'm saying it in the past, but it's still the present. Like I knew how to do it then at a very young age because I listened. Listening is one of the key leadership skills that you can have. It is the most important, in my opinion, listening to someone and allowing them to be heard, because most people are never heard ever, not even in the day, but in their life. Listening is so important. So I allowed them to be heard and listen to them so I could provide the advertising package solution to them, for them, in their company. So instead of buying the original package, they would triple it because they trusted me. I built the relationship. I allowed them to be heard because I listened, and they trusted me. Then I got sick. So there's a high and there's a low, but there's a lesson always at the high point and a lesson always at the low point, right? So I have autoimmune disease. You always have it in your body, but at certain points in your life, it becomes more pronounced. So I have Hashimoto's, thyroid autoimmune disease, and hypothyroidism. My thyroid doesn't function like a normal person. I can't produce T3. Thyroid has 3 parts, TSH, T3, T4. I cannot produce one of them. So 2/3 of my thyroid was functioning and 1/3 was not. Can you imagine? Like 1/3 of one of your major things in your body, like that has to function in order for you to live and survive, wasn't functioning. I went in for blood work for something. I came out with an autoimmune disease. Whoa. That's a little bit much to handle. So I'm a successful entrepreneur, bringing in 6+ figures. I'm a new mom at this point, and I am feeling like I am on top of the world. And then I was sick for 2 years. I had to stop working because I couldn't get out of bed. I wasn't a present parent. I had brain fog. I couldn't focus on anything for any length of time. My joints ached. My hair was falling out. My nails were broken. I literally was existing, not living. I was sleeping 10, 12 hours a night, waking up exhausted. All of a sudden. But here's the thing, it's not all of a sudden. It's, it's building, and then it happens. And then the crash happens. So for me, the success in that moment was I have everything. I made it to the top. I'm an entrepreneur. I have amazing clients. I'm making incredible income. I have a beautiful family. And then what happens? The burnout. My body couldn't handle it. I have this autoimmune disease and I have to figure it out. So I spent the next 2 years going from doctor to doctor to doctor, endocrinologist to endocrinologist, just other specialists. No one could help me. Pop the pills. This is medicine. That's what they do. My body decreased and declined and got sicker and sicker and sicker every single day. Now think about this. It's on top of the world, and now I can't get out of bed. That sucks. That's so hard. Like, put your mind around that, right? Think about that. The process that has to go through your mind that you have to go through to survive. Now, what is success in that moment? Success in that moment is getting out of bed. Like, think about that for a moment. Getting out of bed, whereas a week ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, I was putting together 6+ figure advertising contracts. That's vastly different than what the success is. Okay, so it's a mindset shift that has to go on within your head. So what happened was that I finally went to different doctors and I found a holistic functional doctor that really saw me for who I was. So functional doctors can see your whole body holistically. They don't just treat one thing and then pop pills and move on. It's how do we help you feel better? It's not just looking at your blood work saying, you're okay, your blood work's fine, even though you don't feel good. That is the part that really pissed me off. Right? Like, your blood work's fine. Well, I don't feel fine. I don't feel fine. So there's some disconnect. So this holistic doctor was a godsend, and she saved my life because she found the deficiency in my thyroid that the medication was not helping. It was making it worse. And that's why I got sicker. So instead of being on a higher dose of the thyroid medicine that's producing T4, my body wasn't producing the T3 from that, my thyroid. So I needed a lower dose of the thyroid medication for the T4 and a compounded medication for the T3, because compounded medication goes through your body's slow release and it doesn't go out of you after you go to the bathroom, and all this stuff is how my body functions, right? I could absorb it better. And then it was a slow process to figuring that out, and the supplementation my body was deficient in that I couldn't get with food because you have to eat so much of it, you'd be sick, and starting to figure out my nutrition, okay? So I did this, and I did it very quickly because I knew that would be my success. That was my success. Feeling good, sharing my story, and helping others. So you don't have to sit in this back and forth with the doctors and feel like miserable all the time and exist instead of living. Because what's the point of life if you're not living? If you're not finding your success every day, right? Like, what's your point? So from that, I was able to figure out my nutrition and fuel my body with the proper nutrition through food freedom and not depriving myself of anything, but just changing it so it served me, served my body, served my autoimmune disease. And I became happy, I became energized, I started sleeping less, I had clarity, my hair stopped falling out, my nails started to grow, like everything started to be in alignment. Success, right? And so naturally, my next entrepreneurial adventure was to be a wellness coach, to help other people going through the same thing I was going through, give them hope. Give them a solution, a simple solution to feel good every day, all day. And it works. It freaking works. Mind blowing, right? It works. No more research, no more finding a doctor that can help you, no more figuring out the food. Like, I have the solution. You're still gonna need a doctor and you're still gonna need food, but the solution is the plan in between. I got you. I know how to do it. So that's success. And I'm on a high again. I'm on that high, that roller coaster from the low to the high, right? Bringing in a very good income, helping a lot of people, right? Becoming very well known in my field as an expert in autoimmunity because I did the work, I found the solution, and I wouldn't stop at anyone's cost. And I put myself first because health is wealth. It's not selfish. It is necessary, okay? And then I decided to open a storefront, right? So my next step is I'm getting a lot of success. COVID's happening. Well, actually, it was right before COVID. So, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a storefront so that I can actually meet with people, face to face. I can serve them my nutrition and my baked goods, which are amazing, and they're gonna feel good. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna blow up. So I searched and searched and searched. I negotiated and lost 13 contracts for retail space. And then there it was. I found it, I negotiated it, and I signed it. Right? Signed, sealed, delivered, done. Awesome. We did gangbusters. Gangbusters. COVID hit, and it was amazing because for us, we were health and we served food, so we didn't have to shut down where I was. We got to stay open. We had lines around the block. The phones were ringing off the hook. Like, I couldn't serve fast enough. I couldn't give people their healthy shakes, their tea, energizing teas, their protein balls, their donut, the protein donuts. Man, those protein donuts so off the shelf, like sold out every day. It was amazing. And here comes the money. And here comes the people that I'm helping, right? So here we go, 6+ figures, off to the race again. Here we go. But what happened with the storefront is that, it puts a toll on your body. I have an autoimmune disease. Sometimes I forget because I feel so good and I don't look sick. So autoimmune disease is like the silent disease. There's nothing visible. Except for, if I'm not feeling well, my face might be draggy, or my hair is falling, I'll be a little bit less, but you can't really see anything, right? But you feel sick. So when you don't have the proper solution, but I felt so good. So I kept pushing myself. And I got to the point where my health was declining. My thyroid levels were plummeting. My cortisol, which is your stress indicator, was off the charts. And I didn't even realize it. Because when you're so engulfed in what you're doing, engrossed in what you're doing, and you're making a difference, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and what's the next thing, what's happening, you're on this roller coaster where you're up so high that you can't see down below, right? So my health took a toll, like a super toll, you guys. I had to change up a bunch of stuff. I had to really find out how to find my calm in the storm, find my zen, not raise my cortisol, and that's not easy when you're in it. Right? Like, when you're in it, it's not easy because you see the success and you like the success and you want to continue with the success, but you don't have the success if you don't have your health. You don't have your success when you don't have your health. Like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? So in the moment, yes, it's worth it. But when you take a step back, it's not worth it because it's short-term gain for long-term illness. I don't want that, and I don't want that for you. So we closed the storefront. I closed that storefront, right? Door shut, boom. And here we are, down at the low again. But I knew there was something better coming. So I really focused on being that autoimmune expert and helping people from my heart, inward out, taking care of myself, fueling my body first as a priority so I could fish it out to everybody that was coming to me. Because the floods kept coming, they kept coming. The storefront was closed, but people still wanted me, right? Because I'm the autoimmune expert and they know how I can help them. And I've done it before the storefront, so I knew how to do it again after I had the storefront. And so I became this amazing online CEO, and what I get to do as the online CEO and the serial entrepreneur is help people with autoimmunity, specifically moms in the corporate world that are burnt out. They're just completely burnt out and they really want a solution. They don't know how to find the solution. Their autoimmune disease is failing and getting worse on them. Their levels are spiking. They're trying to perform really hard at work, but then they get home and they're exhausted and no time for their kids. Like, what's the priority? So I am the autoimmune expert and I help moms thrive all day, every day, at work and at home and with themselves, right? It's the trifecta, right? It's the trifecta. Because when you have all of that, you're living, you're not existing. You are living, you are not existing, right? So you really have to figure out what's your purpose and what's the burnout level? Like, what's the cost? What's the cost of the burnout? What's that cost of the burnout? Because if the cost is your health and the cost is not spending time with your kids and, not getting that promotion, like, what are you working for? Why are you doing that? Right? So you can take care of yourself first. You can be a present parent. You can be a better coworker and an employee. Or maybe your passion is to, ski all day in the mountains and you find a way to do that while still working and making income with your family. So prioritize yourself. It's not selfish, right? All success has failure, and you get to learn from that failure because learning is the essence and growth is the essence of life, and you're always meant to do your purpose. So what is your purpose? Like, what were you put here on earth to do? When you figure these out, and there's steps that I walk you through on how to do this with the mindset shift, right? Because so many of us will always put other people first, and then it weighs on our shoulders because you're getting all this noise, is what I call it, at you all day long. It's exhausting. So we get to change your mindset together and put tools in your toolbox so you can thrive all day, every day, and make yourself a priority, which is not selfish. And learn how to do this and change your nutrition, right? And work this through food freedom. Energize yourself. Be happy when you wake up and happy when you go to work and happy when you come home. Find your happy. Is it being in the sunshine, dancing all day, on the beach next to water? What is it? That's mine. And I made it happen. And you see the transformation in who I became in doing that, right? You can't take one failure and be like, the door's shut, my life's over. What am I going to do? I'm just going to exist. No. That's not why you're here. That's not why you're here, right? So every day, my purpose is to help one person feel better, one person find their success, and know that they can thrive with autoimmunity. It is possible. I'm here to give you hope. I'm here to let you know I've been there, done that. I went from corporate burnout to serial entrepreneur as the autoimmune expert, and it was always there, always. So dig deep and know that it's always there, and you are worth it. You are worth it. Yes. So, just wanted to share a little bit about who I am and where I came from and the roller coaster of how I ended up where I am today. But I wouldn't trade it for anything else because it's who I am and what defines me as a person, right? And as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as an autoimmune expert, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, as a niece, as an auntie, all of those, as a dancer. Love to dance. As a workout woman, I love to work out. As a baker, as a cook, all of those. Who are you and what's your purpose? You get to define that. And I'm confident that when we work together, we'll be able to define that and put tools in your toolbox to make it happen and define your success. So if you are ready to thrive with autoimmunity and start living instead of existing, go ahead and right below, I'm going to put my link and schedule a clarity call. Now, don't think about it, just schedule it, right? Live in the now, because the past is gone, the future's unknown, but we are here together today in the now. So right below, schedule your 15-minute clarity call with me, and we'll get crystal clear on who you are, what you want to do, and how we can make a plan to make that happen. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for you and all that's coming your way. Have a fantastic, fabulous Wellness Wednesday. And I'm Robin Engelson, the autoimmune expert and the burnt out corporate burnout to serial entrepreneur. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to help you find your purpose and live instead of exist with autoimmunity so you can thrive. Have a wonderful day.